Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube. Welcome people to another Throwback Thursday, and today I thank you for joining me. I have this here. This is, I believe, I was trying to find it. There's a million different versions, but it's an oversized. I think Wei Zhang did it, but I know it's DX9's Hulkie, which it's an oversized version and yellow, of course, of it. Don't ask me why I got the yellow version, but I like the way it looked. I couldn't find the green version, I don't think. Maybe that's why I got the yellow version, because I'm not really into the variants. I'm G1 mostly all the way, so I've never experienced a yellow Devastator. But I do know it's part of Canon, so I just bought it because I wanted to see how it was. Now this is super old because it came out right after, not too long after the Hulkie, which is DX9. The DX9s was making great figures. They're still making great figures because I believe they're new age now. And another reason I wanted to take a look at this is because with the Lumen new Devastators in this scale are coming, and I just want to look and see how this held up. I actually thought it was worse than it is as I was thinking back, because I haven't touched it in years, probably literally. I don't think I touched this thing in probably a couple years. So in my mind, when I was looking at the newer Devastators, I thought this was worse than it is. It actually isn't that bad, to tell you the truth of it. And if you could find it for super cheap right now, I might say buy this. I don't know if, I'm sure you can find it on eBay. It's probably super cheap because it made like 50 million of them. So I don't think it's worth any more than what it was. It's probably worth less than what it was when I bought this. And it wasn't that much anyway to begin with. Can't remember how much I paid for this, but especially these days, because these days with inflation and the way legend scale is going up, it's insane. Off the bat, I will say at the end of this video, I will take these apart and show the individual robots, but really that's not what we're here for. I'll just do it as a kind of courtesy at the end of the video. If you want to stay and watch that part, you can. If not, you can, click off, whatever. Give me a like, give me a dislike, whatever. Just engage. I appreciate it. But yeah, this had a few minor things. Say the hollowness right here. This is a Legends-ish scale bot, so they tend to be forgiven a lot. Especially, I mean, by me, I can admit. I know everybody doesn't, especially these days, and the price points, the price are getting up there. I can understand why somebody wouldn't forgive them, but this was forgivable. The stuff that's wrong, like the hollow bits in the forearm, just some, and also they had some die cast in this. This is die cast, I believe. This, I think it is die cast. It has some die cast down here. This is die cast, so it gave it some heft, especially in the legs. And it could stand pretty well. Had, let me see comparisons for one. One of the other things that I didn't like about it is the legs weren't the greatest. I wish it had some type of mechanism to lock it. But I say that, and in Magic Square's Minosaur doesn't really lock. The legs fold out similarly to that. And let me bring that in and compare it to this. So you can see it is quite bigger, but I think you could get away with it if you wanted to. I don't know everybody's preference with scale. I do know a lot of people think Devastators should be bigger than them because they're construction vehicles and these are cars. But we all know the cartoon never relied on logic with scale because of mass shifting. They were basically all the same size, all the combiners. It didn't matter if they were planes, spaceships, whatever. when they combined and formed a bigger robot, they were all similarly in size. So I think we could say that. Now the gun was pretty good. Look, now he doesn't want to stand. Now that I said he stands pretty well, you can get him in a standing pose easily. But yeah, the gun was great combined. I don't think the individual guns, they were all right. It was one of those gimmicks where all 5 guns. So this was like one gun, and it came out like this and pegged in. It was like a Gatling gun. This wasn't the greatest gun in the world. These were okay. They all looked the same. Like 2 of them looked the same. 2 of them looked the same. He just took them apart like that. And you can see they had some hollow bits. Then they formed out. They were pretty cool guns just to be what it was, but it was nowhere near the guns that came with or looked like the individual robots' guns. And they weren't going for that. Obviously, they were going for the combined mode gun, and that was that. Yeah, let's get into some articulation. This thing, the head spinned around. Everything's tight. The joints were tight and go up that much. You can see the face sculpt. It's okay. A little washed out, but not terrible. There may have been another head that came with this. I don't know. Like I said, this is super old, but you could get that arm all the way around. You had the little arm went up there. It was enough. Again, it has some die cast, I believe, in these bots. So they were pretty heavy. So to get that, it's pretty great. Let me get back a little bit because I keep going out of focus. Probably because of my hands. But yeah, you can get that out there like that. You get the elbow, which is not double. Well, it is double jointed. Yeah, it is double jointed, but it doesn't get much because of this. But I do like that since it is hollow, you can get the 90 degrees. And the hand, the thumb went in and out. Hand was a little hollow, but that's to be expected because it does hold the gun well. Then you had the 3 fingers on one, and you had the trigger finger on one. So that was great. I thought there was I could have swore there was guess not. No waist swivel. So that would have been a big no-no back in the day. I mean, even now. But back then, I don't know. But these, you see, they fail. And it's failing at both joints. It probably wouldn't have failed at this joint. That's why I said if they had a little connector, maybe, I'm not sure if Hulkie had it, because I never got Hulkie, DX9's version. I mean, their version, they made it. So this, let's be clear, this was a KO of theirs, but it was oversized. So theirs weren't this big. No upper swivel, but the swivel is at the knee. And you also had 90 degrees, almost 90 degrees. And no, it's not double jointed because it's just stuck in that one little spot. But then you had the rocker, you had the toe tilt. Of course, this one always has a toe tilt because of the truck. But yeah, you had the decent rocker, but then you had the rocker over here. And of course, you could get the toe tilt over here. These, I'm not sure if I have this right. I thought I did, but maybe I don't. Usually his arms are out, but maybe it's just the way they did it, I think. But they reminded me of, I think that was it for articulation. Well, forward and back. This skirt is a little weird because it comes underneath. So you can't really get it down because it goes down. So it's hard to get this. And this comes out when you're manipulating it, it will come undone. Again, this is an old figure, so what you gonna do? But you can manipulate it out the way, but it won't. Well, actually, it does stay. Just the slightest. You can shake it and get it to fall, but it does stay. And you can go back as well. Back doesn't, oh no, back stays. Back actually stays not too bad. So yeah, there we go. Oh, that's because of this. It hits that right there. It's hard to go back and forth. And you had little, you know, these pieces, which is cool. These doubled as, they just came right out. They were on the actual robot. So they didn't come off. They just folded out and became other stuff on the robot. So I think that's great. This was a great design, to tell you the truth of the matter. You can manipulate all of this. This was die cast. I know that for sure. These were die cast, which gave it a little bit of heft, but you could maneuver how you want it to. You have it up if you want it, like this. I know some people like it like that. It gives it a little more beef. Do this, makes it look a little more menacing, a little more bigger, I guess. Yeah, that was it. So let's get into, that's the main, I say the main kind of throwback review, just overview. You know, I do Throwback Thursdays. It's just an overview of an old bot that's kind of great, or was great when I bought it. But we can break it apart, and I can show you that if you care to see. These weren't the greatest connections, but they were tight. They were just friction. But you can see it was tight, so I can't say they were terrible connections. And these weren't all that either. But they, let me see. Yeah, they came out. No, these were good. These were good connections. We'll work on that. This, I think, just, yeah, posted in. So this wasn't the strongest connection. There we go. You can kind of see the vehicles. Vehicles just right away, they remind me of the G1. You just throw these together like that. These can actually go up in here. You can take the fist off and leave these on. Move that on the side of ways, multiple positions, just like normal. This was, I can't remember how you, robots. You can kind of see. These are just is what it is. It's just, you ain't gotta do much to have the vehicles. Got this. What you gonna do? Got that. Go like that. Y'all get the point. Like I said, I'm gonna showcase the robots now. This I didn't really like because it just didn't go anywhere. You just had to put it wherever. Put it down. Like all of this stuff was tight. So I don't like pushing it up in there too hard, because then you're never gonna get it back out. But yeah, it seems like long haul always was the worst one out of everybody, because just the sacrifices that had to be made in order to make him into the torso. That's why I'm cool with having parts forming. I'm not a person that cares, personally. because I know it just takes a lot to have him in robot form and not look crazy. So yeah, these robots, come to think of it, they're not the greatest. So you have hook right there. Just what it is. He's gonna fall. Pull him apart. It's flipped out some way. Kind of form his toes. And these were super tight. Like, these arms are super tight on the shoulders. I'm not gonna go through articulation. I just wanted to show the robots. Move these down. You can see. He was always weird. Like, just had to get him just right. Oh, but I think that's right. I think he looks like this. And he's the same, just about the same way. Of course. Like that, like this, I think, over top of. Yeah, there you go. Same thing here. I do like that they're not all the same size. I think that's cool. But I don't understand why this one had a silver face. So there is that as well. Yeah, there we go. I was like, his feet still too far. There you go. In the robot forms. And yeah, it's just the robots are not great. I don't really like them that much. And also they are not standing up. Could be my table. Maybe on a flatter surface they would stand up, but I remember they still had trouble standing, let alone that it's not flat. Gotta bend them a little bit. Yeah, so there's the gang. So for what they were fine at the time. But now if somebody released these as a legend scale anything, they would probably be laughed out the room, which is probably why DX9 rebranded them their legend scale, or rebranded themselves, or maybe it's just all the people from DX9. I don't know for sure. I know that's just the rumor, New Age. But so there's Magic Square and New Age coming, which will, either one will blow these out the water, I'm pretty sure. Like I said, for the time, it was great, and I was happy to have a legend scale Devastator. All right, so if you enjoyed this Throwback Thursday, I appreciate you clicking on the video. And if you stayed this long, thank you. Again, this Inflewence. Hopefully there's some Transformers coming soon. I know there haven't been much, but just haven't been much that's coming out. All right, so I will get up with you in another video. Again, I already said that, but peace.
Ain't no, life ain't no, life ain't no, life ain't no. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.